Howdy, folks, and welcome back to Satisfactory with Pancake the Paladin, episode 28. Last time, we got our first train route set up, having the train go from our happy little engine motor factory down here, circle all the way back around to pick up our rubber at our rubber and turbo plant facility. No, turbo fuel plant facility, whatever, turbo fuel thing, and also rubber. Then it'll pick that up, bring it back to our space elevator, and drop off the motors and rubber to make our modular engines, which you can see we have 430 as opposed to the just a few we had last time I saw you. Now you might be asking, how did we jump so much? Well, I did some work off camera, more than I meant to. I went ahead, as we talked about, and I ran a train line all the way up the Gold Coast to here, where we're going to be making our computers and circuit boards. What? There's already stuff there? We'll talk about that. And then I went ahead and ran the train line up as well to here, where we'll be making our heavy modular frames out of the iron and concrete. No, yes, limestone makes concrete. Anyway, that is right here. And now, let's talk about this here. Well, let's wait. Let's not talk about that. We'll do it in a second. First of all, we're going to come over and we have unlocked our Logistics Mark II for our pipes. Now we have Mark II pipelines. We have Mark II pumps, which means that these are the Mark II pumps. The Mark II pumps allow it to push the liquids 50 meters up instead of just the 20 that we get from the Mark I. And the Mark II pipelines can hold 600, units, meters cubed of fluid per minute, whatever it is. And so that's a double upgrade from the Mark Is. We unlocked that off camera. We also updated our to-do list, which is very simple. Finish out phase 3, computers and circuit boards, and heavy modular frames. And then we need to send off the space elevator to finish phase 3. I was very proud of that joke when I made it. You could have heard it. So now we can talk about what happened. I, as we have talked about, am working on maybe trying to do some short form shorts. And I did a test run of some shorts and I made a test short. And while I did it, I recorded my voiceover for it on OBS. And I wanted to make sure I only had the voiceover for the voice and not the game sound. So I went ahead and muted my game sound to test the voiceover. Then I came back to Satisfactory and I was like, all right, that's a good first test. It looks good. I'm happy with it. Let's go ahead and record our next episode. And I did, and I started to anyway, but I never unmuted the game sound, boys and girls. So I did quite a bit of work. I had about an hour of footage that I was gonna take down and put into its own video, and it had no game sound. So I thought to myself, we've done this before. Maybe we can just go ahead and just do what we did before and put the kind of looping, what's the word? Main menu music. Kind of put that looping over and just let it fly. But I was like, you know what? We're just going to go. We're going to bugger on through. I'm just going to tell you what I did. The things that are needed for this plant we have over here are copper and oil in order to make circuit boards and I've gotten that one. Circuit boards and computers. And circuit boards are needed to make computers as well. So we're going to need circuit boards, computers, and heavy modular frames for our advanced thingy things that I never remember what they're called. The adaptive control units. I didn't even have to look it up this time. And I went ahead and got all that started when I realized we didn't have any game sounds. Let's cover... Hey bud. Let's cover what you missed, shall we? We have copper. This copper we needed... hold on. I also had... Don't attack me while I'm in another tab looking at my Satisfactory tools thing. There we go. We are going to be using 160 copper ore per minute to make copper sheets and cable. And then we're going to use those to make circuit boards and computers. We need 2.5 computers a minute and 7.5 circuit boards per minute. And so we're going to be making 5 computers a minute and 10 circuit boards a minute. We went ahead and we're bringing over some extra, and we're going to be making extras so that way we can have our own stockpile as well as covering what we have for the space elevator. So I went ahead and I put that down, and we're running 240 copper ore per minute over to our brand new facility that is over here. And in that facility, we're going to have it be an open air facility like we did with the turbo fuel for the most part, aside from our hidden little battery area. And I want to have everything have kind of its own little section of the open area as we enter super fast night. And the purpose of that is going to be that I want the above view, like we're really going to be viewing it from above. We probably won't, but just, because we might want to. The above view, I want to have very like defined areas. So we have, this is going to clip if I make maybe. Anyway, the above will have very defined areas with the conveyor belts connecting everything. So if you look at it from above, my hope is that it'll kind of look like a circuit board. And will it? Maybe not. But what we have here now is we're bringing our copper in, and we gave the copper its own little storage container. So it's going to be filling in up here. It's going to be bringing in more than we need, so that way we're going to be available for expansion here if needed. Then we're breaking out our ore because we need. Oh no, I lost my thing. This mind me as I move things around on my monitors while we're chatting. I'm going to be needing 120 ingots per minute for our copper sheets, so we have those shooting out that way. We only need 40 ingots a minute for the amount of wire we're going to need. So we have this smelter here is actually providing ore for both our wire into cable as well as our sheets. It's kind of splitting off and doing both. So this guy's pulling double duty. But then we have our wire over here, and the wire is getting stored in this to turn into cable. And we need, a 40 cable a minute. So we have 2 of these machines dialed back to not make enough. This should be getting 80. This one just needs to, why are we not? Oh, because this is a Mark 1. This needs to be Mark 2s. How about that? We're getting 80 ore, or 80 wire a minute, and our Mark 1s only run at 60 minutes. So these are running behind. That should fix that problem. Glad we didn't notice that later whenever we were trying to, keep up with production. Is this a Mark II? Yeah, but I had it over on the out, or on the in, just didn't have it on the out. Anyway, we have these 3 that are making the, 40 a minute that turn into 80? No, 80 that turn, no, 80 to 80. Is it 1 to 1? Do I know what I'm talking about? The world may never know. It's 80 to 40. 80 wire a minute, turning into 40 cable a minute, and coming here. And then I ran this down because these are going to run together to where they need to go. Then we have our copper sheets over here, which we need an even 60 per minute of, and ingots are 2 to 1 ingots to sheets. So we have the 120 ingots coming over on a correctly created Mark II belt and coming into this container so that way we can have extras just in case. And then we have our copper area completely finished. Now we have the oil. There are 4 oil nodes over here, of which I am getting oil from 3 of them. We have this node here, which is a normal node, providing 120 oil a minute. We have this node over yonder. Yep, is a pure. That node also is a pure. That are each providing 240, I think. However the math works, I'm getting 600 oil a minute. And I only need Yeah, 100, 240, 240. And that's how that math works, right? 240, 240, 120, 600. Why do I question myself with math? But that's double what we need. We only need 300 oil per minute to do what we're doing over here. But we're going ahead and getting it all and storing it in these buffers. That way we, again, are ready for expansion if the need arises. So now we come to the oil. We have 10 refineries here that are going to be making, what is that, 200 plastic a minute? Right? Where's my thing? No, 80 plastic. Wait. I have 10 refineries. Is that right? That doesn't feel right. Oh, yeah, it is 200 because it's going to be going to both the computers and the circuit board. That's where my confusion was. And we're going to go ahead and turn you black because you are making the oil. And then we are going to take the plastic and put it in its own output over here, much like we have for these. They're going to have their own. Actually, let's go ahead and put that container here now. Have its own storage container here. And then the residue that's going to come from this, we are going to convert into a little bit of bonus power to make fuel and a couple of overclocked fuel generators, because they burn generally 20 a minute, but we're going to be getting 66.667 a minute. So we're going to be overclocked these to 166.667 each. And that, I think, if I did my math correctly on those, should burn exactly what we need. So where we pick up now that I've caught you up after my happy little gaff that I had is we are coming to pipe the residue down here for the fuel. And the first thing we need to do before that is change our swatch color. So that way we have the purple pipe for our purple heavy oil residue. Now, don't mind me as we get this taken care of. Things you learn as you're venturing into making YouTube videos for the first time. You gotta double check all your stuff all the time, you know? I haven't even, hopefully, by the time this video releases, I will have released a few shorts already. That's my desire. But even if I haven't, just know that I want to have. But you have to make sure all your stuff is correct first. And so before you're recording, make sure everything lines up as it should, so you don't end up doing what I did. And we end up with a little bit of footage that we can't use. I mean, I guess I could B-roll stuff if I really wanted to, but I'm going to be honest with you here, folks. I don't have the time really to make a B-roll of stuff. So we'll see if anything comes of that footage, but as of right now, not much. Always make sure your ducks are in a row. Nope, I'm pushing the wrong button. I want to have this be a straight line. Oh, one thing I did for some reason wanted to do is the pipes that are all on the ground level down there that we're getting our oil from. I did them in curve mode. I think that a nice clean curve looks better kind of there when it's quote unquote natural. Whereas if the pipes are gonna be up here, like as a part of our not circuit board but circuit board, I do want to make sure they're in straight mode because that's how I have all of the other supports. Nope, there's a word. Conveyors as well. I have all those in straight mode. So always make sure, because fluids are fluids, always make sure that you have the buffer, because the buffer just kind of saves your patootie on the weird physics that come from the liquids in this video game. And they say in 1.2 that they fixed liquids. I'm not saying I don't believe Coffee Stain Studios about that, but I am saying, are you sure? So we'll see. But that could be exciting and could make things less stressful when it comes to creating things with pipelines. Now let's run this. run you all the way as far as I can, which is to there. That's as far as I need to run it, and then I can make my junction here. Why are you tall? You don't need tall junctions. But anyway, and another thing we need to make sure we do, so we're going to go ahead next and turn these on. And I think we'll be able to go ahead, I think we'll be able to get enough out ahead of time. If I turn these on, I think I can get the, what are they called? Conveyors set up in enough time to not back these up, while at the same time allowing us to have enough throughput to make sure everything is full here. Oh, one thing I need to do that whenever because I got to the point where I turned this on in the video that you'll never see that I messed up. But I forgot to put valves to make sure that this doesn't then come and then slosh back in and mess everything up. So let's go ahead and get our valves in place here. And is that going to fix the problem? I don't know. I'm still having some issues. Excuse me, sir. I'm still having some issues with power at the main turbo fuel plant. As I'll show you here in just a minute, we are having some power fluctuations still. If you look at our power pole here, yeah, you see we're fluctuating. If we had the liquids correct, this power wouldn't fluctuate. It would just be power. I think I have a fix. The fix is either going to be a valve to make sure that the slooshing doesn't sloosh back in from the buffer that we have at the end of our line. Or the other way that I have done this, I know we talked about it, is I make a loop. So I would make the straight pipeline all the way down here for all these pipes, and then the first pipe and the last pipe I would have come out and have a secondary just straight pipeline all the way down, because I feel like that kind of does a little bit to mitigate the sloshing and or slooshing that we can face. So I don't know if that will fix the problem, but it is something I will be testing. So now let's turn on our plastic power here and get these a boogie in. 4, 5, please connect. Thank you. And then you come to here. Power on these guys. 1, 2, 3, a 4, and a 5. Now you all should have smoke coming out of your stacks. Excellent. Now this will give the heavy oil residue time to extract, escape, and come down and come into a buffer. And while we do that, we'll make our pipeline for our 200 plastic a minute. Pipeline's not correct. We'll make our conveyor. So let's go ahead and make a merger here where it lines up. Stack 3 on top of one another. Then have the Mark 1 come out. Oh yeah, something else I talked about. Man, there we go. I've talked in the past about how I like to kind of, what's the word? Delineate's not the word I'm looking for, but like run down the conveyor lines. Of course, you're not quite long enough. You, that's fine. Run it right there. I like to run it down. So like once we have just a few, like we would have, they would start down here being a Mark 1 on this output line, and then eventually go to a Mark 2 once it has more than 60, and eventually go to a Mark 3, and so on. But I don't know, in my own head, oh, there we go, I feel like that actually is not the best case, because it could cause just like maybe it'd be like just the microest of tiny slowdowns. I don't know. Would it actually cause a slowdown? I'm not sure. But like whenever it is making the transition from one to another, I don't want it to have a slowdown. Again, I don't know if that makes sense as I'm saying it out loud. In my head, it kind of does. But we'll have to just see if it actually makes a difference. There we go. Now these are going. And we have our full 200 a minute coming out and coming over into our machine. Now I noticed some of these are yellow. Why are you yellow? Are you not getting enough oil? Is the oil not making it down all the way? It's not, because that should get to 6 before this flips over, and it doesn't quite. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna try my double pipe thing. I don't know if it's gonna make a difference. We're gonna try it. So we're gonna come and bring a second pipe just here. Run this to the pipe. And we're gonna run this all the way down to here. And then we will, actually we don't need we actually didn't need that, hold on. Because we're just doing a 1, we don't need the junction. We can just run it down to the side. There we go, like so. Run it down as far as it can anyway. Here. Oh no! You're bad. There we go, right here. It's close and tight behind. And then run to here. Why would you do that? Huh. Oh no, and it's orange. Okay, that's fine. I do, what I need to do is do this, and then this, and then, that's a small, not that big of bug, but still a bug. But anyway, so now that when this comes out, it will split this out and send it this way in the same kind of way. So it will almost bring these like to the middle. Oh, and another thing I've done, so that's where I had the junction. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So here's our middle. I can put a junction here. Oh, that's gonna be too close to make a pipe, isn't it? Oh no, there we go. And so now it kind of works again. It's doing the same thing it was doing before, just kind of coming into the middle as well. Again, I don't know if this is gonna make a difference, but I'm gonna hope. So like this down here, it'll just be now getting to over. Oh yeah, so this gets way over now. Now are any of these other ones turning yellow? This one's still yellow. You're running at only 68%. So let's give it some time to catch up, because once this actually gets all the way filled, obviously it'll go. So then it'll send on to the next. So we'll get that checked out. We're combining my two schools of thought for pipeline management here, and we'll see if it makes a difference. And this is my plan to go back to the other facility to fix what potentially could be the turbo fuel problem if there is one. So we'll see. Next, this is still filling up, which is good. This should be full. I think we could probably go ahead and turn these on, but I do like this to be as full as it can. But it won't slosh back in because we have this. So it'll just send any excess over. Right? I'm right, I think. Let's bring this here. Turn these on. And run this. Ooh, excuse me. Run this down. And sit behind our forthcoming fuel generators. If I put this here, you're going to clip through something? Barely. That's okay. Then these will start to fill up. And then once these get all the way full, then I will turn these on for just a little bit of extra power. So, while that's happening, we can move on. See this, like, when I got to this point before, this is where I stopped the episode. I was like, oh wow, I have a full episode. Let's go ahead and stop, and we'll do circuit boards and computers in the next one. Well, boys and girls, we're in the next one. So, I'm going to bring up my screen grab I have of my Satisfactory tools blueprint thingy, flow chart. and we'll be able to see now we are going to need 4 circuit board assemblers that are going to be making 30 a minute, and that 30 a minute is going to be split. We're going to keep 10 a minute. We're not going to keep. We're going to have 10 a minute with sending. It'll start out by only sending half on to the train, and then it'll keep the other half in a storage bin. And then I don't know if we actually have enough Mercer spheres. I think we only have 1 or 2, and I think we'll need the 2 so we can make sure we have the computers and the circuit boards going to the cloud. And so then we'll need the 4 manufacturers as well in order to create the computers. So I think first we're going to have plastic and copper sheeting going into 4 assemblers. Let's go ahead and get that going. And we are close to already being full on our modular engines, which is exciting. Oop. Yeah. Yes. So, if we come out a little bit further this way, I was already on Zoop. We come out like 5 this way, run it all the way down, 2, 3, and a 4, and a 5. We can begin with our, what are they called? Assemblers. We talked about, how many hours do I have in this video game? I'm going to pull up in Steam right now and look. I have 544.4 hours in this video game. And I can never remember the buttons to do stuff. And I know where everything is. I really do. But whatevs. It do be what it do be. Now we are going to be having the copper sheets at 15 a minute and the plastic at 30. So one of them is going to come in from the top, as is tradition, and one will come in from the bottom. I think we'll have the... Ooh, these aren't going to need to come out this far. Let's go ahead and do this. We'll worry about that in a moment. And we'll have this. You can have these. Here, they're for you. I think maybe we'll have the manufacturers then facing this way. Again, I want to have them be in their own like dedicated area. But I'm also, hold on, let's see. Where is my chainsaw? Please excuse me while I chainsaw. Okay, I think now if I run this down, it won't clip. Oh, how lovely is that? And now I ran these too far. Actually, it won't be too far. So what we'll do, we're going to have a bridge. This is too far for right now. And we're going to have a bridge that will connect these over top to send into the train station. So we'll have these, and then we'll have our 2 manufacturers. One here, and one there. That's very, very close to those. Actually, we can put them more this way. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to move these first. Because again, I want them to have their own, definitely their own dedicated area. And I think this is a nice open area a little bit for what we're going to need. So we'll try this here instead. And then have another assembler. There we go. I think that's going to look better. And as we said, as is tradition. And these will actually come and they'll start here and go do organization, production. Again, we just talked about this. I have 500 and whatever hours. I don't know where things are. All right, we'll have the splitter start here. Run down. Ooh, and I have another thought for how this could be cool. This will go away. this will go away. We're going to need 80 plastic a minute to go to the other situation. So what we'll do, we'll have, what do we have, 120 coming here? Yeah. We'll have this 1, 2, 3. Our Mark II, right? Because Mark IIs are 120 a minute, right? Yeah. That's exactly what we need. Run our Mark II down to here. Again, as is tradition. Run it up. And then place our splitters. Get rid of the old. Now we'll go ahead and put our things here. Oh, okay, no, we're good. There, and then here, and then there, and then here, and then there, then here. And then the Mark II belt will actually come straight from the top, like so. Then the other Mark II belt will come around, because we're going to have 80 a minute, and it'll come around and run alongside the circuit boards that are coming out of here. That will be neat, I think. So we needed how many? We have 120. No, we have 60 shoes. We only need a Mark I. Like I was saying before, I'm no longer going to be running the different machines through, or the different lines through with, like the, what's the word, where it like tears down as it goes. But we will not use more line than we need. So like we have Mark IVs we could use and just start sending Mark IVs out and fill all that up. But again, I don't know that I have a reason not to, other than I don't want to. Now let's run this here. Bam. And turn on our first circuit boards. Oops. Now, wait. There we go. Copy this. Paste. And paste. And paste. Now, we have our first circuit board being created right now, which is very, very exciting. So we will have then an industrial storage container here. That, how many? I have enough for 2 depots, which is exactly what I need for now. Whenever we start, because of how things ended up with my episode things, I think we're gonna have time to at least start beginning to look at what our what's it called? Heavy modular frame factory is gonna look like. Heavy modular frames, I think, is one of those spots in this game that trips people up. Because I've always heard that, like, I've always heard, like I talk to people about Satisfactory all the time. I've seen on the interweb that heavy modular frames is a spot where there's so many resources that go into making heavy modular frames that once you get there, it doesn't feel, it essentially they think it doesn't feel worth to do so. So, I don't know. I think that, and then once we start getting into phase 4 and aluminum is also a big spot that people start to drop off, because aluminum is a lot of aluminum. But we'll worry about that when we get there. For now, we have this starting, which is beautimous. We can run, I should have let this fill up. You know what? The thing I said I wasn't going to do, I'm going to do it temporarily, just to get things started ahead of time. So we're going to go ahead and do this just so things can get filled up. Maybe it's ridiculous of me to do it that way, but then once things get filled up, we'll take it back to the way it was, the way the good Lord above, Timothy, intended. Let's go ahead and run this now, and it'll line up and meet up with our 2 manufacturers that are going to be down here that are going to be making our very first computers, which is so exciting. Making anything in the manufacturers, I feel like, is a big deal. I don't know why, but I remember when the first time I started playing, I got to manufacturers, and I was like, whoa, this is wild, because it was, oh, this is gonna not work out the way I want. Maybe I should do. Hold on, my brain is braining. I'm gonna have to split off the circuit boards also. What if we do it this way? We do move them down a little further, like, again, have their own spot, like here. Somewhere where, yeah, those will be able to come out. So we'll do that. And then give a 2 break. And then have them be this way. How's that gonna look? We'll have to just wait and see, shall we? And we'll have a splitter. Oh, how do I want to do this? Let's work on it. We're doing it together, huh? We'll have a splitter right next to it. And this will be, when we're making computers, it needs 40 plastic a minute. Slide. Let's run this all the way down to there. Where did I put it? Put it up just a little more. Like there. So now we have this. Is where our plastic come in. On the Mark II belt. I just keep getting that, like, it's just barely too short thing. Alright, so now these should be good. To at least keep running. Maybe I'm just being silly with all this, which is not only possible, but I'm going to even say probable. But either way, you can go in there. There we go. So now that's where those will go in, and we'll need something similar here. Oh, okay, here we go. He's got thoughts. He has plans. Like this. And then these will need 20 cable. Yeah, we're only making 40 cable. What I'm going to do here is this. Run it to here. Oh no. Okay, wait. Yeah, straight mode. Why not? But why not? Okay. If you're gonna not work the other way, we'll work that way. That's fine. And then we'll run a splitter, which is gonna be basically on top of this other one, and run it to here. I keep with the way I've done things. I want to have. I want to do this. Get this out, and then run it to here. Nope. Ah, shoot. Run it to, like, right on the outside of it. This thing turns. That's what my problem was. Of this, Mark 1 to here. Mark 1 to there. Needs to be back further. Needs to be back to, like, here. Mark 1, straight mode. Perfect. I don't need this here. I really don't. But I'm gonna. I don't know why. Again, yeah, I know why. It's in case we're gonna expand some more. Oh, if that's the case, then wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm all over the place here. We should do this. Um, this is all so convoluted and unnecessary, but it's what we're doing. There. This makes sense, right? To you, to me, to somebody, I'm sure. I'll diddly darn it. Alright, I made it too convoluted. It didn't need to be that convoluted. Next, we have our circuit boards, which we're going to need to split out a couple of ways. Because we've got some we're saving, and we have some we're sending, and we have some we're computering. So this will end up coming out to like here and meeting up with the computer line and running with it. I think we're honestly going to be combining it with the computer line. That's wrong. Oh, we're going to have the computers going out and then this way. We're going to figure it out. Anyway, that's where this is going to go. This is going to be a line through. And we also need to make sure we're feeding the circuit boards to the computers. So this line is needing to go. I'm gonna need to have it shoot between. So we go like this. Here. We have a splitter on the end. Bring it around to go through this line. And then up. That's not too silly, I don't think. Or maybe it is, who knows? Like we said, the other one, bring it to here, go up one, and then, oh, no, too far. Or not far enough. Or both, whatever. Come to here, up one, then here, then to there. There we go. Having this split 3 ways, it's going to be... wait a minute. Priority merger, not priority splitter. Now, if I had a priority splitter, which I guess technically a smart splitter is, maybe I want to have this be a smart splitter that sends to here and here first before sending to the train. Because there's never going to be a point where this will back up. These might... Am I making enough? I mean, it's just, the thing is, I need this to fill up first. Before I really can go into high gear. So maybe this line needs to be, let's go, priority smart splitter here. Here, this to here, and out. This is the overflow, and this is circuit board, and this is circuit board. Will that work, maybe? Those in there. How close were this thing? Not very. How many are we making again? We're making 30 a minute. So we have 20 going here for computers. right? 30. Hold on. We got 4, 7.5. Times 4 is 30. So that means we have, at the moment, only 15 coming over here. At most, we're going to have 15 coming over. We need to have 20. What we need is what we need then is, because even then when it starts splitting out here, it's going to be 15 in this way and 15 this way. So we could do a splitter outside of this, and then a merger. Hold on. Merger here. Can I get a squat boy here? And it looks funky. Then this comes to, oh no. Okay. And the splitter needs to come to here. This needs to come to here. And then this also needs to come to here. So that way, when we are inevitably splitting 15 and 15, then this will split out to 7.5 and 7.5. And so then when we come over here, have 15 plus 7.5 is 22.5. When we only need 20, and then when this gets backed up, which it inevitably should, it'll be able to then send back off to the train. Whenever this gets full and this gets full, it'll just push right through. This is a mess. Hashtag bless this mess. Now we need to come be making our computers. So we'll send another power pole here, power this one, power pole to here, to power this one. Now what I don't know is I have a thought. We're going to need a storage container for our computers. Right here. We're going to need... I know there's a way that this like prioritizes or something. But can if I send computers into here and it starts filling this up, you know what? I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to. I won't. This is going to come over to here. What I was trying to do to let you know is I was trying to think of a way that I wouldn't need to do like another, I wouldn't need to do a splitter. What I need to do, hold on, this is already wrong. We need to do a splitter right here. And then a merger right here. And this will be the ones that goes to train. Oh, yeah. Just the slightest curve so it doesn't mess stuff up. And being attacked? No thanks. So now, we should have computers starting to go in there now. We do! Have another. Okay. You know what? I don't know that we are actually going to end up having time to start looking at our other factory once we get things going. That's alright. Now let's run this to here. Run this over here and then to here. I could probably merge these together, but I don't know that I want to. Oh, you know what I should do actually? Hold on. These should be in a single... Why? A single, what's it called it? So that way, when I'm making my bridge we talked about, it's not funky. So if I had these off, like, it was like kind of cattywampus a little bit, and then it wouldn't, the bridge wouldn't be right. Okay. Our first circuit boards, our first computers. Is it the most efficient way to do this? I don't know that it is. But it's our way. Why is that yellow? Oh, because I never went and turned the power on for the motor. Oh, goodness. We're backed up. We're backed up. Hold on. I'm glad I looked over at that. This, I just need to flush this whole line. Again, you can either flush a single pipe segment or flush a whole pipe network, which I'm doing here. But now all of these are getting flushed all the way through, which means those should pick back up. And this is full, and this is full. Extra power. There we go. So now this should be, I'm actually gonna not flush this whole line, but I'm gonna flush these little pipe segments here just to make sure we have enough output. Flush. Flush. Alright, I think we're okay. Flush. 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 Okay. There we go. Okay, so hopefully that shouldn't back things up. Yeah, because if we stop getting plastic, that breaks the whole thing. But we should be good here still. Oh yeah. You know what? I have two more. Have them. Just for safety. So, next. We want to run these over to the train, and then we want to add this to our train loop. Run you. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to make our bridge first. Again, with the just barely too short. Now we'll run our computers. We only have that many computers so far? Was it a plastic problem? I don't know. We'll see. Turn the corner. Oop, nope. Ah! Moving too fast. Turn our corner. Run us down. We are, you know what? Actually, do we need to do the merger? We come to here. Actually, this would be one of these. And then one of these. We don't even need the merger. This just connects into there. Now, should be getting circuit boards and computers at a slow rate, but it'll go. Especially because the circuit boards are going to stop coming because we have them be secondary to wait a minute. No, yeah. Because it'll overflow once these two get, I think it's going to be a minute, and we have time. But I mean, filling this at 15 a minute, it's going to take some time. But this is going to be fine, he says with confidence. Eventually, I do think we will overflow. But we'll deal with that when we get there. So, now, come to our train line. Go to the train station, timetable, the train. Can I change this train's name? Oh my gosh. Base, elevator, train. Now I go edit timetable. So now it'll go, it goes motors first, and it comes back around to plastic, which is maybe not the most efficient. I have an overflow in place at the building. Sorry. Let's go ahead and add computer and circuit board after motor. No. After plastic. I don't have a way for it to get from here and then to hop back over there. Do I have a way? Hmm. This is on the right hand side. When it comes back, to leave here and come and connect and go around, and it goes out. I wonder if it should be plastic first. So it goes out to plastic, then up and around to motor, up to here, then up to here, then up to here. I think that's the way it should be, which means I need to change some entries and exits. This one's fine. This should actually be first. So now I need to go back, and you know what? We're going to go ahead and add this one anyway, just to get it out of the way. Save. And I should go... I'm going to try to come all the way out here, I think. Now we should go back. I mean, we're going to have some stuff, but now we should go back and fix our ins and outs. Where is the train? Right here. Something also that's nice to do whenever you get your train situation set is just to have a nice train. Just keep a train with you. That goes up and around. Yeah, I think this works. I think I have my ins and outs correct. We also need to go back to the space elevator and move the modular engines to start feeding into the trash and get us our sweet tickets. Now if we start at... I can get run over. This is going to come through. So if we start here, we need to go out. So this will need to switch to come to here. And then this will go through, down, go plastic, then we'll come up on the right hand side, up and around to here. Wait, does that still work? Yeah, but instead, oh no, this has got a weird thing. This needs to have an out that goes that way. Also, it gets to the right hand side. That needs to get over to there. That definitely isn't going to work. This needs to get to here. Turns too sharply. Okay, here's what I need to do first. Pause the train, which I can do from here. Timetable, space elevator train, turn off self-driving. So now I need to get rid of this. We need to have... I want to have it have the ability... I mean, no, this is going to be the same timetable, so I don't need to have it be able to go in both directions. This needs to come to here. It needs to come onto the right-hand side of the road. So let's get rid of this. Make a twofer. Have this come to here. And then up to there. And then this to this new connection I made. Still too sharp of a turn. So let's do one more. Have this do like here. I do need the turn to start happening. And then will that connect to here? There. Wait. And this. Nope. Nope. Yep. You know, you could hit G. There you go. Not the prettiest. But now it'll come in from there, which it's supposed to. come into here, around, pick this up, and then head off in that direction to get the... You know what we can do also to make this a little nicer looking? Go ahead and do one of these, do one of these. Just so it's not as nasty looking of an intersection. I mean, it's still not great, but now then this will come in here and then head that direction. So then it'll be back on the right-hand side. Come up and around and around and around. Then up off to here, pick this up, and it has the option to go back either way, and it comes back on and it'll go around. Okay. I guess. I mean, I could still have this connect back on to here like it was before, just in case something happens. That isn't great, but okay, so there's that. Now let's run back over to the space elevator and have the output go back correct. Oh, we are here. So now this needs to go on the right. That is too much. And that's too far. Connect here. And then this also is going to need to come from this. Wait. So when it's coming back from this way, it'll be on the right-hand side. And then this will need to connect over to there when it comes back. Thankfully, that was relatively easy. We can get rid of then this one. And we can get rid of this one. Because it just needs to come out and go that way now. And as we just checked, this is too sharp. It needs to wait. Wait. This is the right. So it needs to go. I want to have it on the right hand side. So we come through here. So yeah, it does need to connect to there. How can I make this happen without it getting goofy on me? Probably the same way we just did over here. Is that the way? Is that going to work? Yeah. There we go. Rid of these. We have a kind of a funky intersection here. That's actually not a terrible intersection. I don't actually hate that. I thought I was going to. So now it'll come out of here. And the timetable we have set is it comes here, goes to rubber, it's back around, all the way down to here. And this comes off of here, picks up here, goes back on the right-hand side. Okay. That's correct. Now let's send this on. Space elevator train. Get back to it. All right, here comes the train. So now it has two full carts. Not full carts. It has two carts of stuff. So it should come around and come over here. Excellent. Stop here. And unload. Come on. You can do it. And then we should have the small handful of circuit boards and computers going into here. And that should be a normal, actually probably larger now, set of motor and rubber. It's going to take longer to get around the thing. Off you go. Excellent. Those should be going off in their correct directions. Yes. You should be going back that way. Yes. Yes. All right. Good work, everybody. And that's gonna be full here before long, so that'll start. Boy, did I call that, or did I call that, huh? Now these motors will start going into the turf. But anyway, we did it, and I didn't get to heavy modular frames, but we'll get there next time. So I hope you've had a great day today and a better day tomorrow. And hopefully I won't mess up the next recording and we won't have game video or game sound, huh? So yeah, we'll see you in the next one. See you.